Now let's take a look at the Object Explorer. Now this is where you will live a lot of your life as a SQL 2005 DBA. First thing I'll do, again, is I'll open the SQL Server Management Studio. You should have that by now. Start Program, SQL Server 2005, Management Studio. It comes up. Now notice Object Explorer is open here. If it wasn't open, it would either be over here on a tab on this side on the right or the left, or I could go up to View and tell it Object Explorer right here at the top, or I could hit F8. So that brings Object Explorer out. I'm going to pin it so we can see it. Notice what Object Explorer is doing for me. I can see, for example, my databases. Okay? So notice my Leesburg database. I can see it here. I'm going to get this a little larger so you can see it. Notice it's showing me the SQL Server, the person that's logged in here. And notice what it's showing me in the list down through here. It is showing me the various objects in my database, and we'll start with the most important, the database objects. So notice I have some system databases, and then I have a test database that I've set up. Well, let's look at the system databases. If I expand the system databases, it shows me the system databases that are out there. Those of you who are familiar with previous versions of SQL, this looks and feels very much like the Enterprise Manager. But notice if I look at, for example, the master database, it then shows me that in the master database I have tables, views, synonyms, programmability, service broker, storage, security objects. Let's look at the tables. That's what we're most familiar with probably. On the system tables, you'll notice, for example, here is a replication options table. If I expand that, you'll notice there are columns out there. I can see the various columns in it. And let me make this a little wider. And the Object Explorer shows me the name of each column. Then if you'll notice right here, the data type, notice bit, integer, and then whether this column allows nulls or not. Notice not null. This column cannot accept nulls. So we can see a lot of information. Notice we can see keys, if we have any primary keys on the table and so forth. Any constraints that have been created on the table will be there. Any triggers that have been created and so forth. So a lot of information you can see out here in Object Explorer. So with the Object Explorer, you can get basically a bird's eye view of everything that's going on. Now, notice on Connect, I can connect the database engine, and if I wanted to see, for example, my named instance, I can connect here, and my named instance is here. Because if you're watching these videos in order, then we did a registered server of our named instance in one of the earlier videos. So once we had it there, all we had to do was bring it up in the Object Explorer and connect to it. And notice on this one, I can go in and look at the various databases and security configurations for that particular database as well. So notice we got two totally separate databases here. As a matter of fact, I can shrink them both and you can see we've got two databases here. So that's the Object Explorer. It simply gives you a way to move around and see what's going on and to apply administrative tasks to the various objects in your databases.